We are going to be the Shabbat guests this week, which is very exciting for us. While I love being in the comfort of my own home, it's always nice to go away, of course, for the weekend and get taken care of a little bit as well. It's my mother-in-law's birthday this Shabbat, so it makes it a little extra special. Come along with me on this busy Thursday and Friday as I prepare to go away for Shabbat. Let's roll up our sleeves and let's get prepping. So although I'm not going to be the one hosting Shabbat this time, we never usually go anywhere empty-handed. We always try to bring a little something with us, like a dessert or a small meal to help lighten the load, I guess, on our hosts, because I feel like coming with an entire family is a lot to someone's house, and I just feel more comfortable when I bring something of my own, and I feel like it's a nice hostess present. And I've lately been giving some sourdough loaves and a dessert to wherever we go, and it is very well received. Let me know in the comments what you guys do when you go away or when you're going to host house. What do you guys bring? Do you just bring a dessert, a bottle of wine, or do you make something when you go? I am always interested in what other people do. So as you can probably tell by now, I'm making my sourdough loaf. I usually like to do this on a Wednesday, but I had a lot going on Wednesday and I didn't get a chance to do it. So I'm doing this Thursday right after work. And of course, my little ones are there looking at what I'm doing. It's the cutest thing to see how they just want to be next to you and watch you. It is the sweetest thing. Now that the dough is done, I'm putting it to the side and basically forgetting about it, and just every 30 minutes or so I'm going to do a stretch and fold. And in the meantime, I told all of the kids to pack their bags. I love that they're old enough now to pack their own bags and get themselves ready to go away for the weekend. And I'll just be doing a quick once over to make sure they pack the right stuff. Being that this weekend that we're going to be going away on is my mother-in-law's birthday, we really didn't want her to work so hard. So each of us, and my sister-in-law and myself, made a few things to take along with us. So over here I'm making some Cornish hens, and I'm making a very simple like marinade. I have about, let's say, half a cup of mayo here and a quarter cup of pre-made pesto. You could definitely make your own. I just had this jar and I really wanted to use it up. So I have that. Then I'm going to be adding in some salt and pepper to taste, and tons of garlic. And then take that marinade and I baste the chicken really well. I have to tell you that this marinade was actually incredible. It really moistened the chicken really well. It just gave off so much juice. The flavor was out of this world. I would definitely make this again. I just made it up on a whim and I am so happy that I did it. And I think I'm going to do this a lot more often. So I definitely do recommend it. And as you can tell, I did add in some sweet potato as well, and I basted it also, and it came out really delicious. I actually really enjoy sweet potatoes with my like meat or chicken. It gets really nice and soft and yummy, especially with that pesto marinade over the top. So once the marinade was placed on top, I did cover the chicken really well with foil, and I placed it to the side for about an hour so it could get nice and marinated, and then I cooked it later on. And in the meantime, throughout all this, I'm just doing my stretch and folds whenever I remember about the dough. That's why when people say that sourdough is so overwhelming and it's so time consuming, I really don't think so. I really don't like think about it too much. It's like, oh, I remembered it, I just do my stretch and fold and I go about my other kitchen business. So I actually don't think it's really high maintenance at all. Now moving right along to this very, very easy brownie recipe. I went to someone's house recently and they had this and I thought it was from a box and I was shocked that it was from scratch. So I got the recipe from them and I'm sharing it with you. I'll have everything linked down below in the description box. So we have 2 eggs here, half a cup of oil, a quarter of a teaspoon of baking powder, a quarter of a teaspoon of salt, and a bunch of other stuff, but I'll have everything linked down below for you guys. It's just so easy to come together. Everything just gets put into a bowl. I mix it all up. There's no separating anything, which is the best. Easy peasy, and it goes into one tray and you bake it and forget about it. Now here's the funny moment coming up. I really enjoy my brownies sometimes to have some like walnuts inside of them, and the people that I went to that I got this recipe from also had walnuts in them and they were just delicious and I wanted to recreate it. But there's someone in my house, I'm not going to mention names, but that person didn't want them in there and he saw that I put him all over the brownies and he's like, why are there walnuts everywhere? You could have put it just on one slice. And I said, no, it's mine. So it was just a funny moment and I decided to keep it in here because I want something too. I wanted it the way that I wanted it, and yeah, so I just kept it in here. At this point, I'm baking the chicken as well at 400 degrees covered for about an hour, and then I'll uncover it later on and you'll see. This brownie recipe, I'm going to actually be serving it with like a sorbet, which is right here. We enjoyed with the chocolate one, but these are just delicious as well. So the chicken's been in there for about an hour at this point. I'm going to be removing the foil and you can see how much juice the marinade gave off. It looks so good already. The house was smelling absolutely delicious. I'm placing it back inside at 400 degrees uncovered for about 30 minutes and this is what it looked like. Since Passover, I took it upon myself to do challah or bread every single week for the next 40 weeks. And I think this was week 13 or so. And I always make about 3 to 4 batches of sourdough. And with one of the batches, I wanted to make sourdough bagels. I was testing it out to see how it would work. The end result was great. It was absolutely delicious. But I found that recipe that I usually have for my sourdough, it just required a little bit more flour because they were sticking just a bit. But with the other 2 loaves, I made a regular sourdough loaf and they were delicious. After I let the bagels proof a little bit, I did boil them for 2 minutes on each side. And this was just basically a big experiment to see if my usual sourdough recipe would work. But I think I would try a different recipe just to see how they would turn out. But it was definitely a nice treat to have the morning after. And we thoroughly enjoyed them with some cream cheese, butter. The kids had really a great time coming down the stairs and seeing bagels for breakfast. After I boiled the bagels, I did add in everything but the bagel seasoning to most of them and then some sesame seeds on the other ones. Let me know down below, what are your favorite toppings for your bagels? I placed the bagels into the oven at 375 degrees Fahrenheit for about 20 minutes until they were golden and crispy. And while that was going, I decided to get started on my madbucha salad. I found this really cool trick from a friend of mine, also Geula. She shared her method of doing madbucha and I really liked it. So I found that people do it in two different ways, where the madbucha is really nice and chunky, or more like a pureed type of madbucha, and I really like the look of the pureed one. And she told me the trick is just by pulsing all of the raw ingredients before actually cooking them, and I'm absolutely obsessed with this new recipe. And now that everything's been pulsed and diced up pretty small, I place about 2 to 3 tablespoons of avocado oil into my pot, let that get heated up, and then add in all of my pureed vegetables. And I let that, simmer for about 5 minutes to release its juices, and then I season it. To season, I add in about a teaspoon of each cumin, coriander, turmeric, and I do salt to taste. I also add in a nice amount of paprika, I would say about 2 to 3 teaspoons of it, and I give everything a very good mix and allow that to simmer for about 15 minutes until it's ready. While the madbucha is cooking away, I'm going to do a quick purple cabbage salad. So to shredded purple cabbage, I'm going to be adding in some salt and black pepper and some mayo. It's actually my kids' favorite and it is so easy to make. So I gladly am doing it, mixing everything up, putting it into a container, and that is done. At this point, the bagels are all done and they're ready to come out. So as you can see, I'm just multitasking a bit here just to get everything done in time. They came out really good. They have a nice browning on the bottom and we did enjoy them. Another favorite snack of ours are the string beans, so I'm just giving them a quick boil. The madbucha is almost ready and it is looking amazing. Fast forward to Friday right after work. I got home and I'm quickly placing in the sourdoughs into the oven to get cooking. I do this last minute because I want to have some good fresh bread for Shabbat, and I'm just going to be placing it onto a parchment paper, scoring them a bit and baking them in the oven. I do have full recipes and techniques up on my channel if you're interested in making these. While my sourdoughs are getting done cooking, I am placing everyone's individual bags into a luggage so that I don't have a million bags going around. The sourdoughs are ready and they're absolutely stunning. It's a few short hours before we have to go, and everyone's taking their turn showering and getting ready. At this point, I'm all ready and I'm just packing up all of the food so that we can get on into the car and head on over to my in-laws. I don't know about you guys, but I'm a horrible packer. Even when I'm hosting a lot of people and I have tons of food in my fridge, I don't know how to fit everything in. I don't know if it's just a girl thing or if it's just my thing, but my husband is so good at it. Like, he does Tetris in his sleep. So I tried my best packing everything in and I could not do it, but Shy to the rescue, he was able to help me out. So that's it. We're all packed and ready to go. Everyone's in the car and we're off to our Shabbat weekend getaway. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Happy prepping from my family to yours.